Our stay here in Portugal so far has been short, but it has been very sweet. We've played 3 of the 5 matches that were remaining in the league schedule, and we have won all 3. Things are looking good. Things are clicking. 2 more matches left in this season. Up for grabs, a spot in next year's Champions League. Sadly, because of Portugal's standings in UEFA, it'll only be in the 3rd qualifying round. But beggars can't be choosers, considering we started in 5th place. How you doing? I'm Mr. Cellophane, and welcome to episode number 119 of Bottom to the Top. We've already started scouting for our youth revolution that we're hoping to start next year, hence the Brazil kit, because we are sending scouts far and wide throughout South America looking for those next delicious wonder kids that we're hoping to bring in over the summer. We're looking to bolster our scouting from before, when we were at Arsenal, when we were at Fulham. Hopefully we will be able to find the next Alon, or maybe even the next Kim Soon-il, or Federico Guerrero. God, I miss Federico Guerrero and Tom Burford and all those guys we had at Fulham who are way too expensive for us right now. Heading into the final 2 matches of the season, we did decide to hold a team meeting to let the team know that really our opposition should be a cakewalk in this next match, and we can work ever closer to getting our dream of making the Champions League. And look at this. The team is green. It is so nice to have a team that is behind us so quickly after taking over the reins. Taking a look at where we sit after 32 of 34 matches, we are in 3rd place on 64 points, having won our last 4 league matches. It was a pipe dream catching up to Benfica. They just keep winning as well. We're still 8 points behind them. We're only maintaining a 1-point lead over Boa Vista. They're on 63 points. They keep winning. Hopefully we can create some distance in these final 2 match weeks. We've also managed to compile the best staff in all of Portugal. After Virgil van Dijk, we did bring in a few familiar faces on the coaching staff, such as Vitor Matos and Daniel Banera. They were with us both at Arsenal and Fulham. We've also shored up our recruitment staff, although we do have some room for a couple of scouts left over. We did make a play to basically sign away most of Sporting Braga's scouting staff, but they signed them to new contracts and kind of blocked us on those. So the search for scouts does still continue. Since we're playing on Sunday, we did have the benefit of seeing what happened in the 5 matches that took place on Saturday, and Leiria pulling out a 2-0 victory at home over Boa Vista, so it keeps us not only 1 point ahead of them in 3rd place, but now with a game in hand. So if we can secure this victory against Estrella Amadora, that will sew up 3rd place for FC Porto. Since we last checked in on Arsenal, they have gone unbeaten in their last 8 matches. But notice the yellow? Only on the away matches. They still have not won an away match in the Premier League since we left. And the final of the Champions League has been set. It's going to be an all-Spanish final as Atleti and Real Madrid taking each other on. Real Madrid did knock off AC Milan. Atleti, if you remember we talked about earlier, is the team that knocked Porto out of the competition. So I guess if we're going to go out, we might as well go out to the teams that might actually win the whole darn thing. 2 matches remaining against bottom half teams. The first could decide our fate, whether we're going to the Champions League or not. Here's how we're going to line up. It's going to be Nguidi in goal. Sean Smith is going to get the start at left back in place of Sandro, who picked up an injury in the last match and will be out for the remainder of the season. Catal will be in the midfield because we're kind of sort of moving Smith over. He's going to be next to Martinez. Gustavo is going to remain as our right back. It's going to be Klein and Telehavshi in the midfield with Sansui and Nusa on the wings. Up front, the pairing of Rodriguez and Ramos, who have been so good. Ramos with a pair of goals in not 1, but 2 consecutive matches. And of course, starting with the kickoff highlight, because in our last match we were just kind of tweaking things around, trying to make sure that our holding formation is kind of working, and we also have a dual playmaker role, which is something I've never done before, so I wanted to check that out. So of course we get the infamous kickoff highlight. We are the last match of the day. Free kick for Nusa, sent on by Rodriguez, but it's going to be looped in, and Ward will grab that easily out of the air. So we are in third place. We are 1 point ahead of Boa Vista, technically 2, because we are tied in this one. If we win, it will put us up 4 points with only 3 left to play for either side. So that will guarantee us a spot in the Champions League for next year. Telehovsky receiving it up along the far sideline, moving it to the inside. Rodriguez turning it towards Sanusi inside. Ramos scores his 5th goal since we have taken over, his 12th of the year, unless VAR decides otherwise. They're checking to see if he was offside, and they have deemed that he was not. What a play by Rodriguez. Getting for Sanusi. Quick touch pass in for Ramos. Kept in by the center back. Pokes it past Ward. His 12th goal of the year. And as I said, in the last 5 matches, and he has not played all of them, in the last 5 matches, he has scored 5 goals. Not too bad for a guy who wasn't expecting really any playing time, but he has done a tremendous job for us. Headed down and picked off by Telehovsky. Up that right wing to Nusa. Flipped into the middle. Sanusi heading it on, but getting under it just a little bit too much, popping it over the crossbar. Ward sending it long. We played just about 9 minutes. Rodriguez has it swept away from him. Correa will take it for Estrella. Estrella finds Halverson. Or Halverson for Estrella, I should say. Correa with it. Playing it back for Halverson. I don't really have the team names, and the team name is actually blocked, so I'm just going to call them Estrella for right now. Waldson dropping it back for Halverson across for Gonzalez. Enjoying a bit of possession as they send it long, and Ngidi will just play that, not taking it in his hands, which is interesting. Rodriguez will knock it to Sanusi along the near side. He's got 3 men on him, dropping it for Smith in some open space. Klein now up the middle, will carry it forward. Klein wide right for Nusa, in the middle Ramos, and Cesar Ramos. He's the mailman on this Porto team, because he does nothing but deliver. If it is upheld by VAR, it will be his 2nd goal of the night, his 3rd brace in the matches that we have managed, and his 6th since we have taken over at FC Porto. And he has just been an absolute revelation. The 26-year-old Mexican national trying his level best to earn himself a spot on this team next year. Now, we are most likely going to be making changes specifically on the wings. We have a lot of age out there, a lot of players 29, 30, 31, 32 years old that we are going to be looking to move on. There is a lot of interest in most of our attackers. We only have 33 million as of right now to play with in the transfer window. Not a lot. Hopefully we can raise some funds. Now, the team is about 75 million in debt right now. Obviously, it's something we need to work on. Smith is going to send it across far post. Nusa able to deliver it past Ward, his 11th of the year. Sean Smith picking up an assist. It's 3-0 Porto, just over 14 minutes into this match. So there's a lot of money we're going to have to pay off. We're only getting about 70% of the money we bring in via transfers get put back into our transfer budget, so we may need to move a little bit more than we might have initially anticipated. But I feel like our current squad size is large enough. We do have depth in the players we have, and we will have an entire world's worth of players that we can take a look through in the offseason to really bolster things up and build on this start that we have gotten ourselves off to. Telehovsky up the middle. Rodriguez quickly putting it out up the left wing for Sanusi. Sanusi into the middle of Rodriguez. Ward making himself big and deflecting them out behind. It will be a Porto corner here in the 27th minute. 3-0 is your score. And this match has been all FC Porto. Alvaro Rodriguez, his 21st of the season. He ain't 6'4" on that near post for nothing. That is the second corner goal I believe he has scored since we have taken over, as we've had Sanusi delivering some absolute gems on set pieces in the last 4 matches. I keep talking about 5 matches for Cesar Ramos. It's really only been 2. He did not start in the last match. We gave him a break as we rotated the squad against the team that we ended up relegating in Casapia. Trayvon Sanusi makes it 5. His 12th of the year. Sensational goal for the loanee from Newcastle, as Klein just laid it to him. He carried it into the box, moved it past the defender onto his left foot, snuck it inside the far post and past Ward. 5-0 FC Porto. And I think we're going to bring on some guys to get a look at in the second half, because I'm pretty sure we have this one well in hand. I think we'll hold a change in reserve as we head into the second half with a 5-0 lead. We are going to get some players on that we haven't really gotten a look at, including Juan David Mosquera coming in at right back, Felipe Lopez at center back. We're going to bring in Manuel Santamaria in the midfield on that more kind of attacking midfield role-ish, as well as Hugo Picado coming in as our left wing. He's not really an advanced midfield player necessarily, but we want to take a look at the 25-year-old Portuguese national as we head to the second half. Now, I'm sure everybody coming in off the bench is going to be a little complacent with the 5-0 lead. And knowing that, barring a major disaster, we're going to the Champions League next year. That one's going to be cleared. Mosquera, unfortunately, unable to pick out Nusa. Becker carrying it up. He'll be chased down along the sideline, still in control. In the middle, and he picks out Mario Kirkhoven for his 3rd goal of the season. Only the second or third that Ngidi has given up. I believe the 3rd. Didn't we give up 2 in our first match, which we ultimately won 5-2? I'm pretty sure. So 5-1 as Estrella Amadora comes back and gets one back about 10 minutes into this second half. Can't really blame anybody on that one. Mosquera could have been a little tidier on his clearance when trying to pick out Nusa. We are going to try to fire the team up. We want to make sure that they are focused, and we do not allow these chances of ours to escape us. I almost used some colorful language. Trying very hard not to do that on the YouTube. Rogalski playing it ahead for Kirkhoven. Trying to look for a runner. Kirkhoven's going to take it himself along the edge of the box on the right side. Correa in for Rogalski, who will tuck it inside the near post. And it is now 5-2 Porto with the lead. Boys, we need to really have a conversation about this. Like, do better, please, and thank you. I think what we are going to do in the final 20 minutes is we are going to go and try out our new cautious 4-3-3 mentality, which is what we have decided to use in situations such as this. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to leave Rodriguez up top. I'm going to we're going to leave Rodriguez up top. Ramos will go out on the left wing. Picado will come in to that more defensive midfield position. But as you see, we've got a pair of deep-lying playmakers. It seems to work okay, and in the time that we have watched this in the match engine so far, it's been a limited amount of time, but in the time that we have watched it, we have not seen a lot of conflict between those two. So far it seems to work out. Becker, Guerrero in the middle. Kirkhoven, that's going to be blocked by Felipe Lopez. Go out behind for an Estrella Amadora corner kick. We've played just over 74 minutes. Bernabé to send it in. The in-swinger delivery, near post, cleared away. Becker tracks it down. Bernabé for Van Aken. Back out for Bernabé. His shot will be blocked. Good defensive play so far by Porto. Now we have, obviously we jumped out to the 5-0 lead, a very emphatic 5-0 lead in that first half. We did take off a couple of our offensive pieces and put out some players that haven't gotten a lot of playing time. So to take that little step back and give up 2, not surprising. Luckily, we were able to stem the bleeding there. 5-2 is your score after Estrella Amadora able to get 2 back in the second half, but we still dominated possession, shots on goal, XG, all of that stuff. But most importantly, we picked up all 3 points, which means, just as we've been talking about the entire episode, FC Porto have qualified for the 2035 UEFA Champions League by securing a top 3 finish in the Liga Portugal. Not a ton of surprises budgetarily as far as the initial budgets are concerned. 2.7 million euros per week, which is where we expected to be because it's kind of where we already were. Now, we did only have 33 million in transfer budget. That has been upped to nearly 40 million. So that's going to be a nice, good base level to start off with, which of course we are going to bolster with player sales over the summer. I already can smell them coming. We've got a big transfer special coming up in tomorrow's episode. And can you imagine if we had actually been successful in taking the Mafra job? Yeah, we would have been a second-tier manager if that were the case. Mafra has fallen into Liga Portugal 2 with Casa Pia, both teams already having been relegated. It's going to be between Alverca and Moreirense, potentially Gil Vicente, for the team that's going to be in the relegation playoff. Yeah, that's how it works. 2 teams go down automatically, and the team in 16th place takes on the team in 3rd place in the second tier. Portugal's fun. Since we are doing all this looking toward the future, and our future for next year, as far as the competition is concerned, is already settled, we are doing a full rotation of the squad to see what it is we have outside of the guys that we've normally been playing. In fact, only one regular starter is actually in the lineup right now, and that is Cesar Ramos. And the reason I put it in air quotes is he's only been a regular starter since we took over. Ramos is still considered a youngster with something to prove. Here is how we're going to line up. In goal, it's going to be George Grimaud, a back 4 of Gustavo Villasante, Janilson, Felipe Lopez making his second consecutive appearance, Juan David Mosquera also getting his second straight match, his first start. Our midfield is going to comprise Manuel Santamaria on the right and Alvaro Gonçalves on the left. It will be Thiago Oliveira up from the U23s making the start at left wing. Our right wing is going to be Severio Arnisi, who was on the bench and did not make an appearance in the last match. Up front, joining Cesar Ramos, will be Alejandro Pintos. So we head into this match against Firenze into the unknown, looking toward the future, seeing what we have amongst the depth of this FC Porto team. We are back in our normal 4-2-4 formation. And again, I say normal because that is the formation that we've been running since we took over. To great success. Janilson on the corner. Ramos, short angle shot. Goal number 14. All Cesar Ramos does is score goals. And I sincerely believe, barring any miracle of a player we can potentially get in, but I sincerely believe Cesar Ramos is going to be, if not in our starting 11, in our squad for next year. He's 25, 26 years old. He does still have some time, maybe no more room to develop, but he's got some of his best years ahead of him. Nice save by Grimal, who also played pretty well in the friendlies we played him in when we first came to the club, with a couple of weeks in between matches, or at least a couple of weeks before the first match we were taken over. Braunemann carrying it up the right wing for Ferenczi, sending it in the middle, headed on by Yastin, and he's got his 11th goal of the year to tie things up at 1. Now, the result of this match, while of course we want to keep our winning ways going, we don't want to end the season on a sour note. And we are on the road, to be fair. We just want to put in the best appearance we can and get a look at some of these younger, more inexperienced players, these guys that are not getting regular playing time at Porto right now. Whether or not we win this match, we finish on 67 points, 68 or 70, it's really irrelevant. Short corner, Masanda will play it out. Vargas with the shot, he'll pick out the top corner, his 5th of the year, and Grimau just showing the deficiencies I believe that we have in general at goalkeeper. Now, Ngidi has been fantastic. He's a bit more diminutive than we normally like to carry in the position. His aerial reach is not really what we like to see. We like our big goalkeepers on this channel. And Villasante will be blown for a penalty. That was not good. Anyway, these guys are showing us what they've got or what they don't have. And in this case, being able to get away with a good standing tackle, maybe not in Villasante's bailiwick, as Yastin pots in his second, this one from the penalty spot, his 12th of the year. It's now 3-1 Ferenczi, and we are going to demand more from this team. We do have some of the experienced hands on the bench, but not really. Mascara to throw it in, a final third throw in. We'll get it back from Armisi. Santa Maria along the edge of the box. Cesar Ramos. Second of the match, 4 braces in 5 matches for Cesar Ramos. All the young man does is score goals, and this match has been no exception. 15th goal of the year for Ramos. And Ferenczi in the waning moments of the first half, looking to add one from the corner. Can we clear? Not really. Masando with it, shooting. It's going to go wide, however, and will be a Porto goal kick. 2 shots on goal for Porto, both of them on target, both of them hitting the back of the net off of the foot of Cesar Ramos. But for the second half, we must do much better. And hopefully the team that we have out there is going to be the team that can do it better for us. Getting outshot 7-3 so far in this match, but only trailing by the 1 goal. Again, the result of this match is elementary. It doesn't really matter what happens in the match itself, only that we get a sense of what we're getting into starting next year. And, our wingers, we're going to need a little help on the wing, I think. We will give Yalchol a chance at the left wing. Arnisi will come off in place of David Pereira, as those are 2 changes we will make. We'll leave Pintos in. If he's in there, I mean, maybe he's distracting away from or getting the attention that maybe they should be putting on Ramos, because Ramos, again, picking up those 2 goals as we control it and look to move it forward. Villasante pushing it toward the near sideline. He's got a man on him, runs into traffic. We'll lay it off to Gonçalves. Chenilson with it. Not really used to the position he's playing in. Oliveira moving it to his left. Feeding Ramos. Ramos feeding Pintos, and Pintos feeding the crowd as he misses that shot wide. Maybe we make a change at striker in the last 15 minutes. No, not Ramos. Send in the middle. Justin cleared away by Villasante, but Masando will track that down. Played for Biton. Defender overcommits. Biton still in control. Masando shoots and scores. Shidiso Masando putting Ferenczi up by a score of 4-2. Pintos, come on out. Basilio dos Santos, who played pretty well in the friendly, will come in. Meanwhile, we'll slip Janilson out to the left back and bring the 18-year-old Martinez in for the final 17 minutes plus of this match. Well, this really isn't the way we wanted to go out. I was a little bit more confident that we would not take this deep a step backwards, but it just shows the work that we will need to do heading into next year. Santa Maria winning control, playing it ahead. He's got Ramos all alone on an island up that right wing. Ramos sending it into the middle, trying to pick out Dos Santos, but it will be settled down and cleared by Ferenzi. Janilson with it, spins it back to Martinez, who will carry it ahead. Wide right to Mosquera. Up for Pereira. Pereira on the right wing. He's got 3 men in the box. Ramos is one. Drops it to Santa Maria, who will chip it past the goalkeeper, Batola, to score his first goal of the year to make it 4-3. That isn't too bad. We're going to go to a more attacking mindset for the final 5 minutes and change. The ball is cleared away by Ramos, but Souza will gather for Ferenzi. Dos Santos knocks it away. Pereira to Ramos. Pereira getting it back up the right wing. Looking to have some teammates join him. Holding up play a bit on the right side. Pereira into the middle. Finds Scholl, who is able to head it past Batola. His 5th goal of the year as FC Porto able to equalize with just a little over 5 minutes left in regulation. Pereira, what a tremendous job holding things up on that right side, giving his teammates opportunities to make it into the box. Scholl in there getting in front of the defender, heading it past the Ferenzi goalkeeper to tie things up at 4. And coming out of this match, after being down 2, not once but twice, with a point would be absolutely fantastic. And just showing that all is not lost with our depth. We may have gotten outpossessed, we may have gotten outshot, but we did not get outscored. 4-4, your final score. So that'll do it for the end of our first season at FC Porto. Sure, it was only 5 matches long, but it feels like it went by just like that. Sporting Braga ended up being champions. They actually cinched that up the week before on 82 points. That is our goal for next year. We ended in 3rd. We're going to the Champions League. Boa Vista came in 4th, playing in the Europa League, and Sporting grabbing the Europa Conference League spot by finishing 5th on 61 points. Remember, Sporting was ahead of us by 1 point when we started this run. So 4 wins and a draw, albeit with a very heavily rotated team. I truly believe if we had played our starters, that would have been a very easy victory for us in the final match week of the season. Casapia Mafra relegated. Alverca is headed to the relegation playoffs. And we have a lot of work to do, a ton of scouting to finish up. We still have to continue to round out our staff and figure out who's staying, who's going, and who's coming in. It's a massive transfer special to end the week. That's coming up tomorrow. I hope to see you then. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Please make sure it gets out to as many people as possible. I'd love to share this journey with so many more of you and all of your friends. Thank you very much for all the support you have given, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.